Dull chisel is a real problem. It's going to require more effort to use, won't leave as clean of a result, and can even be dangerous. So today, I'm going to show you how to solve that problem using a Tormek T8 to get a razor sharp edge on your chisel. Now there's lots of ways of sharpening a chisel. Make sure you're subscribed as we regularly update our channel with fresh tutorials. Stick around to the end to get a special Tormek tip to get the most out of your sharpening. Before we can start sharpening, got a couple of setup things that we need to do. First thing to do is ensure that the wheel is flat. It's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to get a good straight result on our chisel if the wheel is not flat. And this is pretty easily done. We're going to lower the universal support bar until it's almost touching the wheel, and then we can spot the gap as the wheel turns to ensure that the wheel is parallel to the guide bar. If the wheel is not parallel to the guide bar, you're going to use the TT50 truing tool that comes with the Tormek T8 in order to flatten the wheel. Now note, for those of you who are using diamond wheels, don't need to worry about the flatness. It's already taken care of. We're going to insert our chisel into the SE77 square edge jig. As we do so, we're going to keep the side of the chisel up against the shoulder of the jig, and we're going to have 2 to 3 inches of chisel projecting beyond the end of the jig. Start by tightening the knob closest to the chisel. Then we're going to take the floating knob and we're going to move it as close to the chisel as is reasonably possible, and then tighten it. And we're going to check to make sure that the 2 jaws of the jig are parallel to each other. If they're racked, that can cause problems, so make sure they're parallel. Once it's all in there and tight, we're set to go to the machine. If you're not matching an existing angle, you can set your desired angle on the WM-200 AngleMaster. Here I've got it set to 25 degrees. We would then put the chisel on the guide bar and we would position the AngleMaster on the wheel so that this flat foot is on the end of the chisel just where it hits the wheel, and we would adjust the guide bar up and down until that was a flat contact. If you're matching an existing bevel, you can take the Tormek EM15 marker or some other lesser marker and color in the bevel of your chisel. Then going to mount the chisel and the guide on the guide bar, come as close as we can by eye to the proper angle, and then just slide the chisel back and forth on the wheel a little bit, pull it off, and look and see where it's removing the marker. If you want to see more on this marker method for matching an existing angle, see the link below to one of our videos. I'm going to turn the machine on and we're going to use the stone grater on the coarse side to rough up the grinding wheel, make it 220 grit. Now we're ready to start sharpening. Slide the SE77 onto the universal support, bring the chisel down in contact with the wheel, and move it side to side to keep the wear spread evenly over the entire wheel surface. Now at this point, don't be afraid to lean into it with a little bit of pressure, especially if your chisel is dull and needs some work. That will speed things up. Periodically, we're going to lift the chisel off the wheel, and we're going to feel the back for a burr, or even check our progress on the bevel. What we're really going for here is to feel that burr. Once we've got that burr from one side to the other, we know we've sharpened the chisel all the way out to the edge. Now, we're going to move on to the leather honing wheel. We're going to move the universal support bar to the horizontal position so that we can use the leather wheel going away from our cutting edge. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the burr that we created on the grinding wheel. And this is an operation that has to be done freehand. I'm going to hold the chisel while still in the SE77. Hold the chisel with the back to the top of the wheel and gently move it side to side. Be aware that you always want the edge facing so that the wheel is moving away from the cutting edge. Few passes, feel for the burr. It should come off very quickly. Next, we're going to polish the bevel on the leather honing wheel. Now you can eyeball this, or you can take the WM-200, set the wheel diameter to 220, which matches the wheel diameter of the leather honing wheel, and we can use this to set up our exact angle on the leather honing wheel. Then it's a matter of simply putting the SE77 on the universal support, bring the chisel in contact with the leather wheel, again move it side to side to keep the wear. At this point you're going to want to use very light pressure and check your progress. So that'll get you a very good razor edge on your chisel using your Tormek. I promised you a tip. Before you are done with the grinding wheel, take that stone grater and use the smooth side of the stone grater to really smooth out the surface texture of this grinding wheel. Turn it into a 1000 grit grinding wheel with that stone grater. Do some more passes. The last few passes that you do can be very, very light pressure. Just barely kiss the chisel to the grinding wheel to get as light of a cut as possible. That will give you as fine of a grind as you can get before proceeding to the leather wheel, and will give you the best edge possible. So as you can see, in a very short amount of time, we can take a chisel from dull to smooth slicing sharp, all on the Tormek T8. At Sharpening Supplies, we have over 2,000 different sharpening materials to choose from. So if there's another sharpening method that you'd like to see, let us know. Or if there's another tool you'd like to see how to sharpen, let us know and we can explore that too. If you found this video useful, please consider giving it a like and subscribe.